Hi, this is Aaron, and I want to talk to you about healthy singing. Okay, let's talk about healthy singing. The number one thing when it comes to singing is, I would say, and this may sound kind of obvious to you, but it's drinking water. And I'm going to give you a list of a bunch of things. This is just the very first one, that drinking water is good for so many reasons. First of all, it helps flush down any of the stuff that's in your throat, whether it's mucus or just whatever. It helps just flush out anything that's gonna hinder you from singing well, that is. Because if there's mucus in your throat or whatever, there's pollen, if it's in summer or whatever, flushes all that down. If that's in your throat, it makes it harder to manipulate the notes. So when you're singing, it's harder to be on key, sing in tune, and all that stuff. So water is a really good one. It flushes down. But not only that, it's really good for hydrating your vocal cords. When your vocal cords are dried out, it's going to affect everything when it comes to singing. For sure your tone, for sure your pitch, and all that stuff. So you want to keep your vocal cords nice and hydrated. Also, it's just going to keep your body healthy. And a lot of people don't see singers as athletes, but you are an athlete. As a singer, you are an athlete. And so just as being any other athlete in any other sport, being fit will help that athlete be the best they can at their particular sport. It's the same with singing. The more fit you are and the more healthy you are, the better of a singer you will ultimately be. And certainly if you have to run around stage and if you're a performer, you want to be in good shape for all that as well. But hydrated cords and staying healthy and all that. What else along those same lines is diet. Since the singer is an athlete, having a good diet is going to help you. I'm a kind of a nutrition buff. I read a lot about nutrition, and I just read tons and tons of books, and as much as I can. I just really enjoy it, and I like eating well. And so just a couple of things. The water thing is huge. Avoiding processed carbohydrates, breads, stuff like that. Get most of your carbohydrates not from a box, meaning like box of cereal, box of anything you find in the middle of a supermarket type thing. That's usually where all like the refined carbohydrates are. But eat like good meats and eat vegetables and greens, and I mean that's all that stuff seems kind of obvious, but as Americans we don't generally do this. And you may be watching from another country, and maybe you have a better diet than most of us Americans do. But the singer is an athlete, so that's really important, and that's going to help you to be a better singer when you're eating the right things. Another thing is, and this goes particularly into when you're singing, you want to avoid yelling. Yelling at any time, just like the hey, hey, yelling at people or whatever. You don't want to yell at people just in general, but yelling when you're singing particularly. So what people do is the yelling, the pulling up the chest voice. So you may not have heard that before, but pulling up chest voice just means you've got your chest head register and your head register. So your chest register is here when I'm talking in. So it's like, it's all down here, blah, 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 blah. And your head voice is, that's your head voice up there. So there's these two different registers. So what a lot of people want to do, a lot of singers, a lot of my students, they want to sing in the higher notes, but they want like that deep register, that deep lower register kind of beefier sound in their voice, because the head voice is high and light, and they want that big kind of sound, but in the higher notes. So they belt those notes out like, and try to sing those notes. That's basically trying to pull up the chest voice and singing chest voice at the top of the register. And what that does is it doesn't make for a very good tone. It makes your vocal cords swell up. You just want to avoid that as much as possible. Best thing to do is develop a good mixed voice, but that's a whole separate video. So that's another way to sing healthily, if that's a word. The next one is milk. I'm actually a big fan of raw milk. And like I said, I study a lot of nutrition stuff. I eat a lot of raw milk. You can get that in California, a couple other states as well. But raw milk's great. But avoiding milk the day of singing event is a good idea, and even the day before as well, because it will produce some mucus, and especially if you're getting pasteurized, homogenized like regular store-bought milk, that produces a lot of mucus, and that's really going to affect your singing, because the water flushes down all that stuff, flushes down all the mucus and all that. If there's pollen in there or whatever, that's why you want to drink a lot of water. But the milk itself will produce mucus, and the same is true for cheeses and most dairy. So it's good to avoid dairy when you're getting ready for a singing event, or just getting ready to sing. Another one is spicy foods. I love spicy foods, but the night before you have to sing, or if you sing on a regular basis, avoid spicy foods, because what happens, spicy foods creates a lot of kind of acidity, a lot of acid in your stomach, and as you sleep, that acid has a tendency to come up. If you have any type of acid reflux, it's kind of gross, I know. It's a singing video and I'm talking about all this nasty stuff, but it splashes up onto your vocal cords, and you can imagine your vocal cords are just these little pieces of cartilage and muscle and acid on them. You can imagine how that's going to wake up and your throat's not going to feel well, and you can be like, what happened? I wasn't yelling yesterday, but the spicy food will do that. Another thing, the day of, and a lot of this I'm talking about the day of a gig, but most of this is just kind of in general to be healthy, to be a healthy singer. But the day of a gig, day of a singing, you want to definitely do a vocal warm-up exercise, and your vocal warm-up and your strengthening exercises, all those things, but you don't want to overdo those. Just do a really light warm-up routine and a little bit of the strengthening exercises, because if you overdo it, then your voice just won't be as shiny. It won't have as much luster when you go to sing, because you will have worn it out a little bit. So anyway, those are a couple of healthy singing tips, and I just want to encourage you to sing. If it is your goal to be a singer, singers sing. They practice singing. They practice their exercise. They look for opportunities to sing. And I want to encourage you that if that's what you want to do, you can do it, because it is possible to learn to sing. Even if you weren't born with a lot of talent, it doesn't matter. You can learn to sing. So I want to encourage you to go after your dreams and do that. So again, I'm Aaron from Superior Singing Method. If you don't mind, you want to share the love, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. I look through the comments and find out what people want me to post on my YouTube channel, and I do my best to try and post different, whatever it is that you want to learn about. I try and focus on those and post those on the channel. So go ahead and leave me a comment for that, and like it if you don't mind, show the love that way. And then also the link below, I have a systematic, it's an 8-week systematic program that can help you become a better singer if that is what you're interested in. You're watching this, so I guess it is. So I've got that program and that link below, and there's you can also find a lot of other free tips and stuff there on my website. That's about it. I hope that helps.